So guys, what do we have right now? Despite the previous drop, it doesn't seem like it is going to continue, and those like $1,000 drops are very likely to replace those 30-40% drops which we observed in 2017 and 16. So probably in the current cycle we may see very short and not that severe corrections on the way up, and the more price rises, the more often we see such examples. So right now the price actually returned back to the area above 8,400, which is pretty bullish, and it continues to draw higher lows, higher highs. So in my personal opinion, the longer we will stay in the sideways price action, the more likely the continuation of the rise will happen and this breakdown will not evolve. What is interesting here is that if we look at the weekly time frame, then after 4 green candles which we had before, this current week is forming a candlestick which is called long leg doji. We had the lower shadow very long, we had the upper shadow very long, and the body almost non-existent. And from the conventional trading point of view, from the classical technical analysis, if you would have the strong uptrend, well, like we are looking at the uptrend, so we have the strong uptrend and then we see this kind of doji, then it may indicate on the condition of the market when the strength of the sellers and the buyers is sort of equal and the price is in a condition when it is not clear, it is uncertain where to go after that. So we still have some time for this week to close, but similar to this candle which was forming also potentially reversing shape before the end of the week, but it didn't happen, this candle also may do that, and again it should be considered, especially after the long rise which we had so far. However, for example, from the Bulkovsky's website, he's saying about this doji as well. He is mentioning that his tests show that the long leg doji acts as a bullish continuation candlestick in 51% of time. And basically what he is saying, long leg doji is like other dojis, candlesticks, it means nothing. So it means that there are different views on the issue. Me personally, I would probably pay attention at least. Another thing which I was going to show you is one of the indicators which, as many others, show some oversold condition of the price right now, and this indicator is MFI or money flow index. Actually, a guy on Twitter mentioned this together with the other ones, replying on one of my tweets. So I guess it's fair to say that we need to pay attention for that, because right now this indicator shows some interesting state for Bitcoin, and what it does is basically works like RSI. At some point it is oscillator indicating the strength of the trend and oversold and overbought conditions. Here is the formula. You calculate the typical price, high, low and close for the price divided by 3, then you multiply it by the volume and then have a ratio of the positive values to the negative values on the certain period of time, and use this ratio in the formula to have the value of the index between 0 and 100. So if the value is above 80, then the asset is considered to be overbought, and it is below 20, then it is oversold. And if those levels are 90 and 10, those are really like extreme conditions of being overbought and oversold. So usually they are followed with the reversal of the trend. It should be also said that despite the indication of being, let's say, overbought, it may also simply mean that the trend is very strong at the moment. But again, if it's like extremely high value, then on a very rare occasions first it's happening, and if it does happen, then the price is indeed really unsustainable. So here how it looks like, and for example you can look at the examples such as Apple or other stocks, and indeed you can see that, for example, at the high level of the price, the value of the MFI is really high here as well. And when it was oversold, for example, recently in January this year, we had a very low value of this indicator, somewhere around 5. And after that we saw this reversal, like V-shape formation of the chart. So it's not always catching the tops or bottoms, but still like extreme values are definitely signaling to something. So what does it show us with respect to Bitcoin? Well, first of all, you can see that it spotted pretty nicely the highs in the cycle from 2012 to 2014. Like you see this spikes in the price, and you see the very high values on the indicator, around 99 here and actually almost 100 over here, and also like 96, 97 here. So very high values, and every time this indicator reached those high values, the price corrected after that. Similar things you can say about the previous cycle. So a few of the local highs have the correlation with the overbought conditions of this indicator, but actually, for example, the all-time high in December 17th, this indicator wasn't that high, and it's actually very similar to RSI in that perspective. In fact, you can draw a line showing the decline of the highs starting from 2012 and ending in 2018, also showing similar trend with RSI. But what we have now is that at the moment, the value of this indicator is 97, so it shows that the price is deep in the overbought territory, and in fact many other indicators also show the same. So one may think that if it would be a little lower, let's say 80 or something, then it would just support the fact that the trend is really strong. But being at such an extremely high level, so far, statistically, led to the fact that the price went down very soon after that. I don't want to say that it will happen like with 100% probability. I just want to say that we need to consider such things, and especially take into account the speed of this growth and the fact that there's almost no correction, like huge corrections on the way from 4,000 to 8, almost 9,000. I think such indications are very alarming for a lot of the people who are trading in the with like classical approach, and I wouldn't be surprised that they are about to close some of their positions at least, which could in principle lead to the kind of the domino effect and the price going lower and have this expected huge correction. But let's see how the next week will open. We might indeed have enough buyers to keep the price going higher and higher for a very long time. And even though at least taking some profits may be not a bad idea, but shorting at this point, and especially shorting with leverage, I think it's really, really risky. Okay guys, that is it for today. Safe trading. Goodbye.